Hey, what's up? My name is Dave, and as you know, I interpret everything, and today I'm going to be interpreting The Substance, one of the very few films that came out this year that's gotten quite a bit of buzz lately. It's a dark, satirical horror drama, and specifically in the body horror subcategory of horror, starring Demi Moore as a washed-out, has-been celebrity named Elizabeth Sparkle, who, after getting pushed out of her own television series for being too old, invests in a revolutionary new drug called The Substance that splits her DNA into two, releasing a younger, better version of herself. The problem comes down to remembering that the two of them are in fact one, and a balance must be kept in order to maintain the effects of the drug. But Elizabeth finds being her younger self is far too fun, far too exciting, and maintaining a balance like that, she doesn't always find it in her best interest. I am officially blown away by this film. I try my best to stay away from other reviews of any given movie until after I've seen it, but it was hard avoiding the central idea that everybody seemed to have with The Substance, which is to say that it is balls to the wall crazy, bizarre, insane, and even disgusting. All of which is 110% true. It really is all of those things and more. It is legitimately one of the most insane films that I've ever seen in my entire life, yet what I was not expecting to say with my 2 cents of the film is that it's also probably the best movie of the year. And from everything that I've seen this year, it's not even any kind of competition. That is crazier to imagine than the concept of the film itself, given how, at least in part, the movie is deeply rooted in a passion for body horror, which is not usually my cup of tea, but there was constantly something about The Substance that felt perfect in a way. From the very start of the film, you know that whoever was behind it had an eye for detail. The combination of cinematography tactics imitating the male gaze on the female form, to the production and the set design of each scene, and how lighting and color play into every facet of the film, to implementing photography composition throughout the movie, such as rule of thirds, to framing, to depth and perspective. The list goes on. Visually, the film is captivating in every possible way. That goes into the makeup and prosthetic work in the film as well. Next level stuff. If this movie doesn't win Best Picture, then I would at least be shocked if it didn't win for everything else, especially makeup, especially production design. This film is immaculate before it even dives into horror at all. But it's also a slow-burning, deeply psychological horror film as well. It really wants to lure you into the story with these characters and ultimately what makes them tick. As apart from the immaculate visuals, the movie also has a keen sense of social commentary when it comes down to all of these different societal expectations, like beauty, youth, and fame, and ultimately how you prioritize all of these things. And all the meanwhile, it plays it off as a dark satirical jab on how ridiculous any of that is, all wrapped inside the very familiar anecdote of be careful what you wish for because you might just get it. This film really, truly has it all. Even though I wouldn't automatically call myself a part of the target audience, I've been around enough people in my life that would relate to Elizabeth's story and struggles, as too many of us have been manipulated and brainwashed by the media to believe that any of this matters. The makeup industry alone is like a $50 billion market, which tells you everything you need to know. And that's just wild to me, given the fact that I've always been somebody that has valued a more natural or real appearance from people as a whole. Then again, like I said, I'm not in the target audience. Women are often seen by society as peaking in their 20s to 30s, while men don't peak until they've hit their midlife crisis or something, and when they got their salt and pepper hair. I digress. Even though I'm not in the target audience, I still highly appreciate the messages going on in the film, as well as all of the practical visuals going on behind the scenes. I love Demi Moore in this role almost as equally as I love Margaret Qualley and Dennis Quaid in the film, which, by the way, this is the first time in a long time that I've loved Dennis Quaid in a movie. Now, given he's a great actor, he always is, but he hasn't felt like he's played a character in a long time. Usually he's just playing himself, but this is very much a character and a disgusting, revolting, in-your-face media network executive named Harvey, of all things, in my opinion, a clear nod to Weinstein. But back to the plot of the film itself, which granted is less of a plot and more of a character study and social commentary on society's expectations, but I digress. A story still exists in there about trying to hold onto one's own view of yourself and not being able to let go of the past, even when opportunities are laid out in front of you as to possible avenues you could go on next. But it's just not enough for this character of Elizabeth. And because of that, there's this odd separation of identity going on. She's the same person, yet she begins to split in more ways than just one, often in personality as well, which is wild to watch, because I think that even that is important to note, as we are often at war with ourselves on what we should be doing in life and what we refuse to do. So it is very much a man versus self type of conflict film in the most personified of ways. Oh well, you know what? I could go on forever and ever, but let's just drop that letter grade and we'll be on our way. I'm giving this an A+. Obviously, I knew it was going to be an A+ pretty much 5 to 10 minutes in. That's all I needed to watch in order to know how good it would be. Obviously, on all fronts, the filmmakers knew what they wanted to do, and they did it, period. Unless they screwed up the entire movie, my score was always going to be an A+. But thankfully, they didn't screw it up. If anything, they continued to surpass my expectations, especially that third act. Woo! But what about you guys, though? Have you seen The Substance? Have you not? Are you a fan of Demi Moore's work? Or maybe are you a fan of body horror? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. Whatever and whenever that may be. But until then, peace out.